Big Ass Fans sits in Lexington, Kentucky, and looks from the outside like a lot of other warehouses or manufacturers that you might find across the so-called flyover regions of the United States. But once you go inside, you find a unique company culture that has both an attention to detail and a flexible, humane approach to people that has powered the company to 11 straight years on the Inc. 1000 list. From branding, to management innovation, to big data, to the Internet of Things, Big Ass Fans is one of America's most interesting and most creative companies. We've got the inside story on how this company, that started by cooling dairy cows with gigantic barn fans, has evolved into a global IoT powerhouse, with a lot of room and ambition to expand into new markets in the years ahead.
3 years ago, I was at the Wisconsin State Fair eating corn dogs with my family. It was hotter than heck outside, so we looked for refuge from the heat. And we're watching some cow show, in the middle of Wisconsin. And the thing that occupied my family's attention, from my 7-year-old boy up to my 9-year-old girl, was this Big Ass Fan twirling around in the arena. It really was the notable thing of the Wisconsin State Fair visit that year. So fast forward 3 years later, I get a call from Big Ass Fans, and it was a natural fit. It was instant enthusiasm for me and instant enthusiasm, frankly, for my family, who was, a party to this adventure along with me.
Big Ass Fans is a really interesting and unique success story. It was founded in 1999 as the High Volume Low Speed Fan Company, which is not at all a memorable name, but soon thereafter, about 2 years in, people were calling and saying, hey, are you guys the ones who make those Big Ass Fans? So of course we had to go with it and adopt the name.
The company in 2006 was probably in the ballpark of 50, maybe 50 people ballpark. Pretty small. We were in one building. Everybody worked in one building.
I worked for this company which was a small company at one point, which we probably had then when I started, I think we had maybe 3 types of fans.
But we got our start in the dairy market. It turns out that cows that are uncomfortable don't eat much and don't produce much milk. So the fans were able to make the cows more comfortable, more productive.
We're a smaller company on the ground level of something that's going to be huge and phenomenal in a new part of the industry and a new product.
It turns out people are very similar to cows, and when they're uncomfortable, they don't work hard. There's employee turnover, there's dissatisfaction, so the technology extended very well into the industrial space.
In my short time here, I've already come across what I would say are phenomenal nuggets of, I call them golden statues covered in soot. That if you just wipe it, say, what is this in the corner? And you wipe it off and you say, do you realize this is gold underneath here?
With our product line, the idea is that there's not an area or an application we can't solve for with some combination of the product. We noticed about 5 years in, people were putting these large fans in commercial air-conditioned spaces like restaurants and churches and schools, which really led us to focus on the unmet needs in those spaces. How do we develop a fan that is good looking, that is quiet, that is really suitable for those applications?
When we introduced the SenseMe product a few years ago, we were not Wi-Fi experts at the time, so we had to invest heavily in training our customer service reps to solve for some of these common problems that occur in the home with Wi-Fi routers. So our customers, some of them are very tech savvy and really understand technology and are willing to troubleshoot things on their own, but we have a whole other group of customers that are not.
It's exciting to see how, it just continues to grow.
There's something about the energy here. Once you're here, you don't want to leave. There's a buzz when you come in the door.
So we've changed a lot of the processes and the procedures, but I think it's the people and kind of the heart of the business. We still have our ping pong tables, we still have our company outings. We're still trying to hold on to that kind of family company to keep people energized about the brand that I think is so important, because I think the customers feel that.
When you walk through the floor, the sales floor, and you hear conversations, the energy in the company, all of that has maintained somehow from the day I started to today when I walked in the door.
Big ass fans, we're on a high growth trajectory. There's a vitality and an energy here. The front edge of sort of bringing technology into manufacturing spaces and into people's homes, which is tremendously exciting for me. Brings out the engineer in me. Technology is core to what we do. We are a bit of a high-tech company in terms of the products that we make. You know, we have a great data center here in terms of our data analytics. We've done a great implementation of our CRM, so we can mine that data. We can understand who's buying our product, where they're buying it, why they're buying it, and have done a nice job of kind of big data mining.
We nearly have 20% of the company using Power BI currently. Really a change, a shift from having two people kind of hold all of the data and kind of tell the company how it's performing versus really empowering the people in the company to own their own data and kind of understand how they're looking.
The Internet of Things, we've focused on the residential consumer, where there's been a lot with what Apple's doing and Google and Amazon and all those things have rode that wave. Things like safety, security, understanding what's going on in a facility. Those facilities are wired, they're ready to go. It's not like it was 20 years ago. You've got some IT infrastructure. We happen to have products that are getting installed in places where I need to have some knowledge about what's going on.
Haiku started in 2012. We introduced a premium ceiling fan to the market. High efficiency, very high quality materials, no noise, no wobble. And we continued to innovate from there. We introduced SenseMe technology 2 years later, which really automates the operation of the fan based on a consumer's preferences.
The SenseMe technology and the technology that we have, the smart technology on our fans and components, it helps us to understand how people are using the products to optimize that. The fan will run itself in the best way possible. Kind of like a thermostat, a programmable, or like a smart thermostat, you know, for the customer.
So the fan will operate according to whether somebody's in the room or not, and then according to any temperature changes and your desired feels-like condition of the room. The business story is really one built around listening to the customer needs and then using engineering to solve problems within those applications. With word of mouth, with social media, if you're cutting corners, if you're skipping steps, it's going to be very obvious to the customer.
When I was looking at joining Big Ass, in addition to the industrial fan company, I actually thought Big Ass, I looked at it in a lens very similar to how I look at Nest and Dyson. Phenomenal engineering, you've got a great amount of design and a bit of attitude to go with it. It doesn't matter if you're into fans or not into fans, if you're into agriculture or not, or if you're into manufacturing, somehow it has this magical attraction from 7-year-olds up to, to 40-year-olds.